everyone, I'm Domingo Gomez and today we'll be comparing the cameras of these three phones. The new iPhone 15 Pro Max, the Galaxy S23 Ultra and the Pixel 7, which cost half as much as the other two, but I do believe that you will be surprised, since of the three, is the one that gave us the most consistent results regardless of the situation you're in. This doesn't mean that it's the best one, but at the end of the video you can decide. All three phones are great for taking pictures, and in many occasions we will have to zoom in on the photos to be able to tell the difference. But come on, they exist and that's what I will focus on, starting with the case of the overexposure of the Galaxy S23 Ultra, that in some moments it makes the photo more attractive than the others, but in others, well, it slightly detracts from the shadows and contrast, creating a more artificial photo than what we have on the Pixel or the iPhone. Samsung does this on purpose, since better lit photos are usually more attractive in social media. You can always change this on the settings of the camera, deactivating the scene optimizer, but since it comes activated by default, I do believe that it's how Samsung want us to test it. And I say this because the saturation of some colors is also more accentuated, especially the green of plants or trees that on the iPhone and Pixel are somewhat more realistic. As for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, is a bit more moderate in terms of exposure, saturation and contrast, but this year I've noticed how it darkens the shadows more. Look here at the color of the leaves on the tree, or in this photo as well, quite different from what we can see in the Pixel. This gives us a slightly more dramatic look, but less real in my opinion. Something that with the Pixel, here we are giving to understand that the sunrise sun is illuminating us. Of all the iPhones that I've tested, I do believe that this generation it's the most balanced one. No gimmicks, no tricks, no warmer look. What you see? It's what you get. About this, I also want to mention that the best preview that we have is on the iPhone, followed by the Pixel, and only then the Samsung. So much so that the photos that I took with the Samsung look much better on my monitor rather than on the phone. In terms of wide-angle lenses, the Pixel 7 is at clear disadvantage, but as long as you have a good lighting, the results will be quite good. When we move on to the front-facing camera, there are quite some differences here. Whether you're shooting with a backlight or in a space that requires a good dynamic range, or simply in a place where the lighting is not the best. When it comes to taking selfies, I do believe that the iPhone camera is once again the winner. Not only it gives us the best skin tone in conjunction with the Pixel, but its level of detail, I do think it's much better, as well with the contrast, which on the Samsung, I don't really know what happens. And no, the camera was not dirty. During the night, it's a bit difficult to pick the winner, since the Galaxy S23 Ultra gives us very good colors with a great definition, but the iPhone doesn't soften the scene as much and give us much more details, while the Pixel stands between the two with its good definition and colors. Having said all this, it only remains to talk about their cameras in video mode, and although all of them record in 4K 30 frames per second with the rear and front camera, well, there's some major differences. For starters, the Pixel 7 saturates colors much more than the others. It's not something, too exaggerated, but the iPhone and the Galaxy S23 Ultra are more balanced in this regard. In terms of their stabilization when walking, they're all great, I would say, as long as you don't move like crazy. But something interesting that I've noticed with the Galaxy S23 Ultra is that in some moments with heavy exposure, it loses a bit of control. In this shot, for example, you can see some slightly paler colors, but when I change my position, the dog looks much better, as good as the iPhone, I would say. And this just shows me that the exposure control should be optimized. Even so, the Galaxy S23 Ultra is capable of shooting some amazing and very good videos, so I do believe that with any of these, you will be satisfied. At this point, you will probably wondering why I haven't talked about the zoom lenses of the Galaxy and the iPhone, and that's because I don't want to mix it with the Pixel, so let's just do it now. This is a photo with the main sensor, and this one with the zoom lens of each one, but come on, there's a huge difference. I think Apple has done a good job with this new sensor, but Samsung, it's in a higher league. So much so that if you want a true zoom lens, the S23 Ultra is the phone for you. Whereas if you're looking for the best macro lens, the iPhone is much, much better. Having said all this, I do believe that the real winner of this comparison is the Pixel 7, since for half the price, you have a great camera in your hands. The new iPhone has improved its color balance, and overall, I think it's a great phone to record, to take selfies, and it's quite easy to use. I can't say the same thing about the Galaxy S23, which can give us even better results than the iPhone, but you have to learn how to use it. You have to use the correct settings, you have to know where it doesn't go as well, when it's overexposed, and do a little bit more manual work. But if you're willing to do that, you have a great dynamic camera right here. But anyway, this is just my opinion, and I really hope that you like this comparison. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!